Shabbat Shalom, everyone, and Hag Sameach. I am recording this Devar Torah. Actually, I'm not recording it. Rachel's recording it. But we're inside the beautiful Temple Emmanuel Sukkah, which we've been enjoying all week long in every possible way. And while it's still Sukkot, I wanted to speak to you from this magnificent little tabernacle hut, which was so lovingly put together. You may know that this Wednesday night we're going to have Yizkor at 7 o'clock in the chapel. And those are the contrasts of this holiday, the sweet and the bitter, the happy and the sad. This is basically a very joyous holiday, our celebration of thanksgiving and gratefulness. And then Friday night, we're going to be celebrating Simchat Torah in a very large, magnificent way. So you'll want to be here as we complete the reading of the Torah and we end the final verses of Devarim, of Deuteronomy, which speak to us of Moses' death, and his exact burial site is not quite known because it was feared that maybe people in future generations would come back and worship Moses, and it's all about our direct connection with God. Moses was a great leader and teacher and prophet and lawgiver, but he was still very human, and the Torah makes a point of saying that. So we close the Torah with leadership being passed to Joshua, and the last word of the Torah is Yisrael. And perhaps you've told me or heard me say this before, but if you take the letters of Yisrael, you get all the mothers and the fathers of the Jewish people, each one of those initials. The Yud is Yitzhak and Yaakov, the Sin is Sarah, the Resh is Rivka and Rachel, the Aleph is Avraham, and the Lamed is Leah. So we are Israel, we're all Israel, and we go back to the founders of the Jewish people. And then we turn the Torah all the way to the beginning, and we get the first letter, which, this is my prop, we get a giant bet. And that's what it looks like, a giant bet. It's bigger than all the other letters. It's like a bracket. And what it's telling us is this top portion of the bet is saying you can't speculate too much about God. We can know the effects of God, but God remains somewhat of a mystery. We just know that God is with us and in us. This back portion prevents us from going backward, from wallowing in the past and living in the past. We can learn from the past, but we shouldn't live in the past. And again, this bottom section of the bet, or the vet, reminds us that the unknown as to what happens after we die. We just know that there is something else, but we live each day fully here in this world. So what the bet is doing is saying, go forward, read on. All the answers to life are here in this Torah. All your questions can be answered, and that's why we study Torah and read it and reread it every single year. As you know, the opening chapters talk about creation, how God creates the world in 6 days and rests on the seventh, and we have Shabbat. And with every act of creation, God says it's good. It's very good. It's all very good. Except when God gets to creating a man and a woman, and there's no comment. It doesn't say good. It doesn't say very good. Because we have free will. And we will determine which choices we make, and if they're good choices, and if it goes in a right direction, or at times a wrong direction, and we need a correction. In any case, we'll celebrate Friday night. We'll roll out the entire Holocaust Torah. It is a magnificent sight to see this 210-year-old Torah, totally opened up. We'll read from the very end, we'll read from the very beginning, and then we're going to close it. And there's going to be a lot of freilach. That means like celebration, with a klezmer band and dancing and singing and eating and all of that. And actually, I know that there's going to be etrog liqueur. I know that was... So if you've never tried that, of course you have to show your ID. But if you are over 21, you can try the etrog liqueur. We're all very anxious to see what this tastes like. Plus a lot of other goodies. And I know we're having the Springdale Farms apple cider donuts. That is really... And this is not a plug for Springdale Farms, but that's where they're from. And we can't wait to celebrate with you, because that's what it is. Rejoicing with the law, with you. Friday, 6 o'clock. We have pictures with the consecration class, followed by a dinner, followed by consecration at 7, followed by Simchat Torah at 7:30. A very abbreviated service, and most of it is celebration and reading and rejoicing with the Torah. See you there. Shabbat Shalom.